Hey everyone, thanks for joining us here at Home Buyers Inventory for our next question and answer. And this is Roberta Eastman. Today we're going to talk about things you need to know about rent to own. So today we're going to talk about Home Buyers Q&A number 35. Buying a home is a lifelong dream for most families, but it can be difficult for many people to achieve through traditional methods like mortgages and other financing options. I know it was for me, and that's why, rent-to-own options have grown in popularity because they often fill that gap and help people buy without a classic mortgage up front. And that's why we offer the rent-to-own, because I needed that option myself when I wanted to buy a home and I couldn't, and it wasn't available to me. So rent-to-own is a great option for those who cannot buy a home through traditional banking mortgages instantly. And the rent-to-own program is a viable option to home ownership. The rent-to-own method, it actually brings the dream of home ownership to people who may have otherwise thought it was impossible to own a home, like myself. And there is information that you do want to consider so you can fully understand what is a rent-to-own home. So here are 7 things you need to know about rent-to-own homes. Number 1, your monthly payment. When you're under the program of a rent-to-own home, you need to pay a fixed monthly rent. As the name implies, rent-to-own homes do still involve paying rent. It is the same as a traditional rental home, but the only difference is that here at Home Buyers Inventory, our program helps you get the home by the end of your term. Unlike traditional renting, where you'll be forever paying rent and it'll never be your own. Number 2, here at Home Buyers Inventory, you have the option to buy the home through us. Our rent-to-own home program does not involve any extra payments each month, but you are required to pay a lease option fee up front as a purchase option. This lease option fee goes towards your purchase price if you execute the option to buy your home. This can be a great way to lock in your dream home if you need time to save up more to meet the bank's requirements for a down payment or to improve your credit enough to qualify for a mortgage. So number 3, who handles the repairs? In a traditional rental, the landlord is responsible for all repairs and maintenance. Often you find that they won't do anything. That's one of the biggest needs that we find from the people that we talk to and people that become a tenant in our homes. Their landlord won't fix anything, even though they're responsible. Here in Home Buyers Inventory, that responsibility falls to the tenant. We make sure you're going to learn how to become a homeowner, so when it becomes time, you will succeed. And as a result of that, it's also critical for tenants to have good renter's insurance and a solid savings fund to cover any emergency repairs. Typical repairs needed are very cosmetic in nature, and we can also help you purchase a home warranty. A home warranty typically takes care of major appliances, roofs, garage doors, and the more expensive items so that you don't have to worry about it. You pay a deductible if you were to need service through the home warranty, but it's much less than what you would typically pay if you had to pay something expensive or get something expensive repaired, like appliances and roofs, etc. Our agreement gives tenants more freedom to remodel and renovate the home, so it can be a great deal for people who are looking for a more customized living space while they're renting. We help people understand, and answer their question of, can I paint, decorate, change the home to make it my own? That's the most common question that our tenants ask. And the answer is yes. Please make the home comfortable for yourself and your family. We do ask that you do not remove any load-bearing walls or change the roof line structurally on the home until you own it. Number 4 are the terms and regulations. The rental agreement and the lease option agreement are contracts. That is why you need to read them before signing them. And with us at Home Buyers Inventory, you sign your rental agreement and your lease option to purchase, which again guarantees you the price of the home and you to be the exclusive one to be able to buy the home at the attorney's office. These are not closing documents, but it just is an important contract, and so you want to be signing those in front of our attorney. Number 5, pre-approval is a good idea. Even if you're not quite ready to buy, getting pre-approved for a mortgage is a really good idea. Home Buyers Inventory will help you by reporting your good payments, and then it gets reported to the credit bureaus, increasing your score and showing the banks and the mortgage companies that you are a responsible person paying your bills on time. We will also help you by introducing you to local mortgage brokers who can help you put a plan together, and then together you can work that plan so when the time is right, you're ready to buy. You're mortgage ready by the end of your term. So let's look at flexibility and freedom. So when is renting to own a good decision? Well, if you fall in love with a particular house and you think you want to stay in the area, that's a good time to consider renting to own. Number 6, the seller's perspective. From the seller's point of view, renting to own can be quite rewarding. Not only does it ensure they're helping a good family get into their rental property, but it also helps ensure the tenants are invested in the property and will take good care of it because they actually want to own that home. Number 7, how much will you pay? So our rent-to-own homes, they're based on the same local market rent you will pay for a typical rental. So if you're going to be renting anyway, then you may want to look at rent-to-own homes. Now, for our program, I cannot say this for anybody else, but at Home Buyers Inventory in our rent-to-own program, the benefit is you have your rent guaranteed not to go up in price for the term of your agreement. I don't know anybody else that does that. How long is the lease? The lease terms vary. However, they are generally longer than your standard residential lease. Most of our rent-to-own leases last at least 2 years. That gives you, the renter, enough time to save up money and work out the financing to cover the total purchase price. Because if you are somebody who needs to increase your credit score, like I was, then I needed 2 years to get myself, my score up organically. I don't recommend that you pay somebody to help you get your credit score unless you need it like tomorrow. Because this truly is something that if you have us report your good payments, then it is something you can do under a DIY status or organically increase your own credit score. If you are self-employed, 2 years is what you need for the bank to see the income that you're claiming. And it's being self-employed, and I understand this because I'm self-employed, you either take the write-offs in a business or you claim the income. Well, the bank needs to see the income. So for 2 years, you have to do that. And then relocating, if you do not have your job for at least 2 years, they do question whether or not you would be credible enough to have a mortgage. And again, I understand this because when I was working for a company, they relocated me and I chose to do that with them, but I didn't realize the bank wasn't going to give me a mortgage when I got to my new place of living, the new state, because I didn't have the job for 2 years. So most of our leases are at least 2 years in order to help you have the time you need to get on your feet, whatever the circumstance is. And here is the one thing that separates us from anybody else that is offering any kind of a home rent-to-own program. And be very aware, this is not a land contract. We do not offer land contracts, and the reason we don't offer them is because we have seen them not work over and over and over again. We have had people call us, end up in one of our rent-to-own homes because they did a land contract with somebody and that person, the seller, came in and took the house right out from underneath them after they paid all this money. So we do not offer land contracts. I can't even recommend them. But here at Home Buyers Inventory, this is what separates us from everybody else. Your rent, your purchase price, and you being the only one exclusive who can purchase the property for the length of the lease term are all guaranteed. So that is a huge opportunity and a huge guarantee that we make to you when we start working together and then you move into one of our rent-to-own homes. So visit us to learn more about that, to get other questions that you may have answered at www.homebuyersinventory.com. We also have a lot of free things you can download. One of the big ones that people like a lot is we have a big book of homemade candy recipes. Now, that really has nothing to do with you getting into a home, but it has everything to do with you making memories once you get into the house. So your home is waiting for you, and we will help you do that. But you have to start by visiting www.homebuyersinventory.com and get on our list so you know, and you're the first ones to know, when we have available homes in your area.